Yo, Wagwan, hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing a plugin called Reverb, but it's spelled RVRB. It's a reverb plugin that I've been testing out over the past month or two and using it in songs and using it in my mixes and seeing what's up. I was sent this plugin by Abletunes, who are the company that makes Reverb, so thank you to you guys. And I'm going to be reviewing it and letting you know whether it's worth the money, whether it's a good plugin and whatnot. And you know how these reviews go. We're going to be going through the product details, what the creators of the plugin are saying, what they're trying to portray in their marketing, in their page, in the information that they put out. And we're going to be putting it to the test and seeing if, if their claims stack up or not. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carter from jcarterray.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business, and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel because you're gonna love it here. Now, reverb is really, really important. You cannot make a good sounding song with no reverb. Like, it's just gonna sound dead. If you got dry vocals and everything's dry, your song is gonna sound lifeless. Yeah, so reverb's really, 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 really important. I cannot state that enough. So having a good reverb plugin should be something at the top of your list. Now, prior to this reverb plugin, let's go to the actual thing. It does look quite nice. Prior to this reverb plugin, I was using Seventh Heaven, which is another plugin that I found online. I think I saw someone using it in a YouTube video and I was like, oh, that looks cool. I grabbed it. I grabbed like the cheapest version, which is like $69, and I was using that. Before that, I was just using FL Studio Reverb and just basically using what I had in it. So when Abletunes contacted me, I forgot who exactly from Abletunes contacted me. Sorry, forgot your name, bro. Forgot who sent me the email because it was so long ago. But when they contacted me, I was quite excited to look at a new reverb plugin because I do like checking out new plugins first of all, but I'm also not that versed in reverb and all that sort of stuff. So to look at this plugin, I really just needed to put it through the ringer and to just try it out with my vocals and with my mixing. So I've only used this plugin on vocals. I've still used Seventh Heaven on all my mixing beats and all that sort of stuff because it just didn't make sense for me to take that out and bring in a new plugin and start using that, because then it's just gonna hurt my workflow and I'm gonna have to learn how to use that while making beats. The reason that I only use this on vocals is because I was also learning and perfecting my vocal mixing workflow, which if you want to grab my vocal mixing template, link is in the description down below. This template will make your vocals half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, and it will make your vocals Spotify ready so that you can release your music on Spotify. Great stuff. Link is in the description again. So now when they emailed me, they did actually go over some specific points that they wanted me to cover, and I think they're actually points from this features page, but I'm gonna go through those specific points because I just think it's easier to go through those points because this is what they think is their main selling points, right? So we're gonna go look through their main selling points and see what's up, and then we'll look through these features and see if there's anything else we need to cover and keep it moving forward. So let's go into my FL Studio session. Oh, I forgot to turn all these plugins back on. This session is my session for my song Nobody Else, which is currently available on Spotify now. Just search Jay Carter Ray Nobody Else, or go to jcarterray.com/Spotify and I'll take you to my Spotify profile. So what they have sent me is, this is the information about this plugin. Basically, it's a reverb plugin for modern producers. It doesn't emulate any hardware or some certain reverb style, and it's capable of different reverb types. Below are the most important features and the difference between other reverb plugins. So let's actually hear this in action, shall we? I do believe I have two different reverbs on my plate reverb, we've got the RVRB, then on my long haul reverb we got RVRB, and then on my background reverb bus we got Seventh Heaven. So that's only for background vocals. So let me play a little bit of this song so you can kind of hear what the reverb is doing in the background, and then maybe I'll just mute the vocals so you can hear exactly, you know, just the vocals and the reverb. So let's play it back first with everything.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act a fright. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? You know what I like.
Okay, so let's select that, and then we've got the reverb and all the vocals and the sends that the vocals go to. So let's play this back, just the vocals, no beat and all that sort of stuff.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act a fright. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? You know what I like, I know what you like, yeah. Opened up my closet, you saw every corpse inside. Don't believe.
So what we've got there is we've got a little bit of reverb. Like, that's how I like to use my reverb. I like to have a little bit of reverb. I don't like to slather my vocals in reverb so you can hear that it's just in a room of reverb. It's like I've just had a pot of reverb and I had my vocals. Let's say this is my vocals and there's a big pot of reverb and I've just dropped it in. That's not what I like to do, yeah? I like to add a little bit of reverb so that it just adds a little bit of life to the vocal, and it adds a little bit of spice, a little bit of sauce to the vocal without you noticing and being like, oh, that's reverb over there, okay? Some songs you want to add more reverb, some songs you want to add less. It depends on the song, really. So now let's actually look into reverb and what it's actually doing here. So I'm using this on a plate reverb that I'm using this reverb for, and also a long haul reverb. I'm just gonna call this RV, right? Because if I just say reverb, you might not understand that I'm specifically referring to this plugin, and yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot easier. So let's look at RV, okay? So what we can do here is we can actually turn this reverb all the way up. So first of all, let me copy this value and then let's turn it up. Turn it up, and we'll turn off the long haul reverb so you can kind of hear what's going on here. But let's go over the points that they've sent me in the email. So first of all, the first point that they wanted to point out was that it has 4-band parametric EQ for input signal, and it says usually most reverb plugins allow you to only cut high and low frequencies, but in RV you can also boost or cut something. For example, you can cut resonant or unpleasant frequencies that add some unwanted color to the reverb tail, or boost something to create some interesting reverb tail sound. So this is what they're talking about, this input EQing over here, which is very interesting actually. I don't think I've ever actually seen this with a reverb. Like, I haven't used reverb that allows you to EQ the input signal of the reverb ever in my life. And previously with the other reverbs that I was using, if we come back to like my mixing template and we go to my background reverb, you'll see that first I have the reverb, Seventh Heaven, and then I've got EQ on it. So I generally will use EQ to shape my reverb to make sure that it doesn't make the track super muddy. But with this plugin, I've already got the EQ in there, so I don't need to bring in a new EQ. And this is pretty easy to use. Like, you can change the frequency here, you can move stuff around, you can, you know, set the gain, set the Q, you can add a cut, add a shelf, add a cut, add a shelf. Very easy to use, very great stuff. I really like this right here. Honestly, never even knew doing the input stuff was even a thing that needed to ever be done. Generally, I'm just dampening stuff and cutting out the highs and lows. As they said, you know, most reverbs will only allow you to cut the highs and lows. That's all I really know. But with this input, you can cut the highs and lows, and also, you know, cut the mids and all that sort of stuff if that's what you want to do. Or if there's certain frequencies that you don't really like the sound of, you can cut those out. Or if there's certain frequencies that you want to boost, you can do that also. The next thing that they mentioned was the Dampen EQ. Like, most, as they said, most reverb plugins give you an option to cut low and high frequencies, but right here, you've got this 4-band EQ. Now, as you can see, I'm only cutting low and high frequencies. I'm not doing anything else because, you know, I'm not very imaginative when it comes to EQing my reverbs. I just do the basics. I don't need to do anything else. So again, this is beautiful because it just allows me to take care of the EQing in house. So let's actually play this back so you can just hear these vocals just with the reverb real quick, just with this plate reverb.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act to fry.
By the way, I did turn this up very, very high, so obviously that's why it's so there's so much reverb going on. So next we have the soft attack knob, which they're saying is useful on percussive, plucky, attacky sounds. These sounds usually have a heavy transient at the beginning and it adds some unpleasant overtones to the reverb tail. So soft attack knob reduces the transients of the input signal that goes to the plugin, so you hear a reverb from the body of the sound, and at the same time this doesn't affect the transient of the original signal. You'll need to find some attacky sound for demonstration, maybe percussion or pluck with the pitched attack. Now I only use this on vocals, so when I'm using this soft attack, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that the transients, the beginning of the words that are coming through comes through, and then the reverb comes in. So let's listen back to this example.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark.
Even though the reverb is totally slathering my vocals, you can still hear those transients and hear those words super, super clearly, even though I've turned the reverb to way higher than it should ever be. So that shows you that this soft attack is working. It's doing very, very well. It's kind of like pre-delay, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how I kind of view this soft attack. It's just like, okay, the reverb's going to come in a little bit later. It's not going to come in as soon as those transients come through. It's going to come in a little bit after that. So next we've got the tail control knob, which I completely didn't use and don't use because I just have no reason to use that. But the point that they sent over is it's useful when you want to have big reverb but at the same time controlled reverb tail. This knob limits the reverb tail by the length of the input signal, a kind of smart gate effect. It's analyzing input signal and lowers reverb tail volume accordingly. You can use some synth chord stabs or drum one-shots or vocals for demonstration. As I said, I don't use tail control, so I don't know what's going on there. We can quickly play this back and turn the tail control up and see what difference it makes. Let's turn it to 100, why not? And let's hear what's going on.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act to fry. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? You know.
Ah, I see what it does. It basically just cuts the tail off. It basically gives you the option to where do you wanna cut the tail? Where is too much reverb? But honestly, that's what I'd use the decay for. So this is interesting though, because you can still have that long decay and then be like, nah, but this reverb's going on too long, so let's cut it a little bit. So that's actually quite a nice thing. I might actually try that out in future songs, but I haven't really found a need for it yet because my reverb that I've set up, my reverb template and all that sort of stuff, it works, innit? So I'm not gonna make it more complicated than it needs to be. Next, we've got the built-in compressor, which is really, really, really nice because I've never I'm not a super engineer. I've got experience from mixing my own vocals and I've mixed songs for other people and whatnot, but it's just experience through actually doing. I didn't go learn how to engineer. I did go to uni for music production, but it never got to the point where they was teaching me about reverb and compressing the reverb. I must have dropped out before they taught that lesson in like year 2, which means they should have taught that lesson way before then, but that's a conversation for another time, yeah? Compression, what it does is it just brings everything up. It makes the reverb more present. And what they've said is there's a technique to use a compressor after the reverb plugin. It helps to make the reverb tail stand out in the mix, louder and more prominent. So we added a simplified compressor to make it easier and faster. And it does. It makes it easier and faster, so I don't have to actually add my own compression. Let me show you the difference. Right now it's at 10%. Let's play this back and we'll move it around as this is playing.
Want me, tell me twice, why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them fry. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? You know what?
10% is where it should stay. But if I wanted my vocals to be way louder, then I could do that. Or if I wanted the reverb to be way louder, not the vocals. Now, let's actually continue through this. Like, this is by Plate A, Canyon reverb sound. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different reverbs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different reverb styles, I guess. I don't know what this ER thing means. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that, you know, they've got plates and rooms and the types of rooms over here, and then they've got some other types of stuff over here. I just used the plate and the Canyon for my plate reverb, and then for my hall reverb, my long hall reverb, I just used hall and then hall. And as you can see, we've got different EQings over here. We've got less of a damp on the low end. I've kind of just left the low end in there, which I don't know why I did that. I don't remember why I did that. Maybe it just sounded better. But that's that. Like, we still got decay and size and the dry wet knob and all that sort of stuff. And there's even modulation. You can have it modulate different frequencies and it just sounds a little bit different. If we go to should we let's listen to the long haul reverb, and what we'll do is we will change this back to what it was and we'll boost this up like there's no tomorrow, and let's listen back.
Want me, tell me twice. Why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act to fry. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? You know what I like, I know what you like.
It actually isn't that loud, to be honest. I expected it to be way louder, but it's not. It's like, this is like my background type of vocal. That's just, you know, I want the whole song to swim in this reverb, basically. So let's test out this intensity stuff.
Why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act to fry. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you.
Oh, that was disgusting. But as you can see, you can modulate frequencies and have it sound I don't know where this was before. I'm just gonna have to reload this template and hope everything's fine. So that's that, basically. They also, you know, it's a nice design. It looks cool. It's a nice, you know, colorful and all that sort of stuff. The decays over here, size, dry wets over here, and everything else is like this typical stuff you'd expect from a reverb. I still don't know what is ER. I don't know what ER is, but the width and the pre-delay, I understand that. The diffusion, even, I understand that. That's kind of diffusing the reverb, so it's not so, you know, so it kind of like it's hitting foam or whatnot. But let's go back to the page and we'll see what's going on. Slick, retina, ready, and easy to use interface. I've already, you know, looked over that. Soft attack, tail control. Did I look at? Yeah, we looked at that. Compressor, 4-band EQ, stereo width control for widening or narrowing the stereo image of the reverb. I haven't actually looked at that. Let's look at that. So obviously, generally, if I'm gonna have reverb, it's gonna be as wide as possible. Why not? But let's listen to it with some less width on there.
Want me, tell me twice. Why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act to fry. You don't wanna leave and I don't wanna see you go. Why you acting shy like we ain't done this shit before? So
as we bring it into the middle, it sounds much louder, like it just becomes more prominent. But that's not what I want. I want a wide reverb. Like, I always want my reverb to be as wide as can possibly be, generally. So stereo width control for widening or narrowing the stereo image of the reverb. 12 reverberation algorithms. I showed you the different reverberation things, from basic rooms to studios to halls and plate. Real-time spectrum analyzers for both input and dampening equalizers. 60 plus built-in presets for most common instruments and sounds. So you can actually go through a bunch of presets. They do have different vocal presets and all that sort of stuff over here. I'm unsure if I actually started with the preset and then just went to do what I wanted to do, because I think I just started from scratch and just made my own hall reverb and my own plate reverb basically. Let me see if there's like vocal plate reverb that they got. No, I don't know. So that's basically that. Let's play this back a little bit more.
Why don't you spend the night? You know when it's dark outside, them drivers act a fright.
So as you can see the audio around here, just like if you was using the FL Studio EQ analyzer or any other EQ plugin, so you can see what's going on there. So that's basically that. Now the question is it worth the money? Is it worth the price? And how much is it? First of all, you can download a free demo of this reverb to try it out and to see if you like it and to see what it sounds like. Personally, I like it. I like the convenience of having the EQ and the compressor and having all these different options available to me. I really enjoy that. So I would say, yeah, it is worth the price. What is the price? It's $99. So just under $100. They do have an Easter sale right about now, so save 20% off with the Easter sale until April 17th. Oh, this video is not going to come out before April 17th. Sorry about that. I do have the option to host a giveaway for this plugin, but I'm unsure if I've built my musical audience to the point where it's worth doing giveaways yet. So I'll think about doing that in the future at some point. Maybe I'll do a post on my community page or whatnot. But this is a great plugin. This is a good plugin. It's a quality plugin. $99 is a bit much for a reverb plugin in my personal opinion, but Seventh Heaven, which is another, I just had a gas check, so I needed to pause the video. Kind of forgotten where I was, but I think I was talking about price. And basically when I got Seventh Heaven, that was around $69, but that wasn't the full suite of the plugin. For the full version of the plugin, I swear it was like $299 or something. Let me check, because it was really high and I was like, wow, I do not need Seventh Heaven that much. I was like, I am cool on that. I swear it's like $279, some sort of crazy price like that. $299, crazy. For what? So I can edit my filters and have decay control and advanced delay, and wow, just too much. Well, it does have more presets and whatnot, but I don't think that's super necessary. $99, that's more reasonable. That's something that I could actually pay for a plugin that does what I needed to do in terms of reverb. And I feel like this covers all the bases. I don't have anything that I'm thinking, I wish this plugin would do that. But then again, I'm not an expert at reverb. Like, I know the basics of reverb. So if there are things that you're like, wow, this plugin is missing that, or this plugin is missing this, let me know in the comment section down below, because I think that would be very, very interesting. But is this worth the price? Yes, it is worth the price. I would suggest grabbing it. I'll leave a link down below. You can also go to jcarterray.com/Abletunes, grab it through there. And let me know in the comment section if you want me to do that giveaway competition, because that'll be really interesting, and then I'll know how many people actually want that. Question of the day is, what reverb plugins are you using right now? What reverb plugin do you like the most? Let me know in the comment section down below. That'll be really, really interesting. And if you got any other questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in the next video, where you'll learn more about music, online business, and online marketing. Peace out.